Hi everyone, I'm Marlene Moore. Welcome to Book 10, Video 31. We only have one more video to do after this one. I've got the camera focused on the book so that you can see better. Today we're going to be talking about the uh, companion books. We've finished Book 10. And the companion books are to be used between books 1 and 8. They could be used for books 9 and 10 if a student still needs help with sight reading or with improvising. But I thought I'd go through these today just to give you some idea. I'm using my master copies, and the ones you have will have new covers. The covers have been changed, and the format will be slightly changed for these too. These were all drawn by hand, and they have finally been done very well on computer now, so that makes a big difference. Okay, I hope that light shines okay for you. This is called Music Maps Book 1, where we've got find the note, say the note, hear the note, and we've been all through this kind of thing before in the other books, so you shouldn't have any problem with this. Left hand, and it goes this way all the way through the book, all the way through. Eventually, at this point, they don't have to know the names of the notes, but you can teach them. You can write them in. They'll gradually learn them. And it goes this way. This book has been very popular with teachers who have been teaching blind students. And another couple of teachers told me that they had special students with learning disabilities, and they're doing very well with this. They take the note, draw it down to where it's supposed to go, just draw a line and say this note lives here. This is what it looks like on the staff. It's called C. That seems pretty simplistic to us, but to a child with some learning disabilities, it's a joy to be able to learn this way. Also, children have done very well with this who are slow at sight reading. I have put, in the years past, I have put all of my students into these books for special reinforcement. There's nothing like reinforcement, and especially the impact of the great big notes. They have no time signatures, so you don't have to worry about that. They're just playing the notes, you see. I'm just skipping through the pages here. There are 42 pages in this book. And then they go on to Music Maps Book 2. And of course, the cover is changed now for Music Maps Book 2. It's all black. It's just down at the bottom. It's showing a keyboard. And this continues for a while in the same format. Saying the notes here and then go. By the way, Russell, my editor, and he has engraved all of the books beautifully. He has changed the keyboard in the new edition so that there's more of a keyboard, because we kind of lose it when it gets to here. But he's changed all of that. We have brand new keyboards. Same idea. And eventually, we're at page 20 here, but by page 34, put the letter names on the piano. Actually put them on, so they know the letter names at this point. Okie dokie. The page 40, I believe, is the last one. And it's down more into the middle C range. All of our books start with the high C range. Music Maps Book 3 is not published yet, but I will give you a peek into it. It's the same idea. This is only for sight reading, of course. And there's big jumps. Here's a big jump here. And And it eventually goes into a little more sophisticated hands together. Big jump down here. There's no time, no counting. Sorry, it's all one hand. I'm thinking with two brains here instead of one. Sometimes I have to. All right, so this goes on until this is the last page actually where we have the big notes. Now my notes are done. And we go into a different format now where there's no time signatures, no key signature. Color seagulls. And fly up to the C. Here, start 5 on the C. They love doing this because there are no restrictions of time signatures or key signatures. They like mice. It's all 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3 all the way through. Little mice. Don't let your students miss out on this fun. They love these animals. This is a great big mummy elephant and the babies. And their big feet. And 2 hands. She's a big note. Kangaroos and kangaroos hop. I've been to Australia, so I've seen kangaroos. They sure do hop. Here we go. They're going boing, 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 boing in their big leaps, using the 3rd fingers only. And make sure that their fingers are all curved when they do this, because you don't want this. You want this idea of the hands still in their position. That one's fun. Snakes. It's tricky. Sly, like a snake. Cats, you see them? They're in twosies. Mama cat and the baby cat. Have your students color those. Pigs. Now we're into 2 counts. We can be counting 1 and 2 and, or if you prefer, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's a peek into Music Maps Book 3. It goes on with turtles, puppies, ducks in D major, penguins, rabbits. Oh, I've got to play rabbits for you. Rabbit lying on his side here, exhausted. Whales are nice too. Oh, that's a 2C, sorry. If you have a child that likes to improvise, put the left hand in. We're in A minor, so A, C, E chords going down to G sharp, B, E. It'd be fun to put words to that too. We are the whales in the water. I can't sing. There's beetle bugs. This is a whole treasure trove of introducing them to animals and beautiful little melodies that are fun. This is Music Maps Book 3. It's going to be published in about 3 or 4 months from now. That's a guess. Ants in A minor. And the exhausted army ant there at the end. Octopus legs. Oh, I should get to the next book. We don't have as much time, but circus clowns, have a blast with that. Now we're into one-a-day rhythms. Very, very important. One-a-day rhythms. Count and play. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second line, make them count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is hand done. This is going to be done on computer very soon by Russell. It's a good book. This is a basic book. I used to give this book to all of my students because rhythm is the structure of music, is the glue that holds it together. And if they cannot get rhythm properly, they're going to have a great deal of problems later on. I don't say go home and do this. I never do that. I do it at the lesson. And you don't have to do the whole page at the lesson. You could just do maybe 2 lines. Because they will get very sick of it. It's a fairly big book. And they will get really sick of it. 40 pages worth of counting out loud. But make it something that is fun for 2 minutes to do at the lesson. And then it's tolerable. Okay? Making melodies. I hope you all have this one by now. This is finish the melody all the way through. Finish the melody, and they get more difficult as you get through the book. Okay, here's one example. They finish it here. They write this. And you should do this at the lesson and maybe give them the last 2 or 3 measures to write at home. Have them write some of it out at the lesson. Or if you just assign it to do at home, they won't do it. You know, there's just too many other good things to do. This goes on to page 40, I believe. Then we... Okay, I use that theme in one of my pieces. It's a great theme. They like doing this. And there's the spare sheet here for them to write their own. So by the time they get to the end, they are really able to put those left hands in too. This is D minor. So we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Oh, excuse me. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2. Sounds oriental or very Eastern, doesn't it? That's a kind of a tricky one. And then they get to write their own at the end. And then music, making harmonies. And I have not released this book yet. This is going to be after making melodies. Where it's more of the same idea. So they're writing out the left hand instead of just trying to play it by ear. And more of this idea that it's going to be both hands in here. And eventually this making harmonies gets into a little more complicated stuff. Let's give you a good example here. All right. Ride 'em Cowboy. The boys would like this. So they would put the left hand with that. This page is not written in double staff yet, but it will be. The boys will like that one. I just heard a little secret, and here's an etude that they're going to do. And this is the manuscript paper that it will be done on. It will be sort of that size, because especially younger children, they're not able to handle all of that just yet. They need the bigger manuscript paper. This is a Christmas book that I'm working on that is not finished. I don't need to show you that just yet, but it's in the works. And then we'll move over to the other big binder, which contains more of the companion books. This has Playwright Book 1, 2, and 3, Super Kid 1 and 2, and the Composer's Notebook. And of course, this cover is now extinct. Okay, it has a new cover. And this is, well, it can be kind of boring, but it's necessary. I was made to do this as a child. Put the name of the note. Do maybe 2 at the lesson. This is especially for children that are auditory learners, kinesthetic learners, who are not great visual learners. And gradually they learn how to identify these notes through sound. Say them out loud. I would do it at the lesson. Okay? Here we go. And it's the same thing all the way. Playwright Book 2 is more of the same, except it's a little more difficult in that none of the notes, there's no help there. They just put them in by themselves. And number 3 has a lot of ledger lines in it. Okay? You may not need book 3 for a student, but you know what I was always really slow at were ledger lines. So book 3 for me would have been a real good advantage. I would have really been able to get a lot of help with that. I'm just checking our time here. Okay, we're doing good. Playwright, we'll leave that go for now. I hope you have seen the Super Kid books. This is, I'll go back to Super Kid Book 1. If you haven't, you're really missing a lot, and so are the children, because this is one way to get them to practice. Super Kid is he's a note. That's what he is. He's a note with feet. And he says, "Hi, I'm the Back to Basics Super Kid. Welcome to Super Kid Town. Population 900 kids." If you don't feel like coloring in the box, make a check in the box like this, or you can color it in. If your piano lesson is on Tuesday, start filling in the boxes on Wednesday. Use lots of colors. Pencil crayons are the best. Love Super Kid. So Super Kid is the nag for at home. Explain this book to the parent. The adults don't get the humor in this book, but children laugh at it. They think it's funny. And that's the whole idea. So each week, the things you want them to do are written down, and the mother signs the book so that the mother or the father is responsible for signing that they have done it before they can get a sticker. So anywhere on the book, the parent signs it. Super Kid says, I can play the piano with my feet. My teacher says I play very nicely. I use my toes. I wrote this. Super Kid is saying that. This is his badge here. He says, today I am a little angel. I can fly. So he can be whatever he wants to be. I like to learn new things. This is called How to Ride a Horse. I am looking for 2 black friends. Someone says I should change that to black keys or black neighbors. It's not meant to be prejudicial or to anything to do with black people. We do have black notes on black keys and black notes. So I don't know what to think of that. Let me know what you think. So he's standing on the 2 black keys and the 3 black keys. And he's reading, are you ready for this? A cookbook. It says mix 2 eggs with butter. And that is funny to children. When I play the piano, I sit up straight. I am Super Kid because I sit up straight. And he's giving them all the helpful hints. These, of course, are for children under the age of 9. It's a bit of an insult to anybody who gets older than that. He says, wow, I found the 2 black keys. It's okay to make mistakes. I just try my very best. See, he's using all of the positive ideas of Back to Basics. Today I will be a composer. I will write a great piece for the piano. But first I have to learn where all the notes live on the piano. How many notes do you know? He's trying to learn the Moonlight Sonata, which is... So this goes on and on. He's having recitals. He's invited all the kids over. It's kind of interesting. It took me a long time to illustrate this. Super Kid Book 2 goes into a little more abstract concept of Super Kid. I find that my machine works best when plugged in. That's a bit outdated now. He says, I'm rather fond of long hair music. You know, Bach, Beethoven, Mozart. Can you say Tchaikovsky? What does a composer do? Why? This can always start good conversations. Stop, think, go. First I say step 1, then I say stop, think, go. What do I do next? My teacher showed me how to play step 2 of Beethoven's song. It was easy. She only played it 79 times. And he's riding a horse, and he's upside down, and he's whatever. To get their attention, read the cartoon and say, this is what we're doing this week. Mummy can sign it. Make sure that Mummy knows about it. Alrighty? At the end, when they have done everything, they get the Back to Basics badge. In Book 1, Super Kid, when they have finished everything, they get the Super Kid badge. It's a ribbon, Super Kid ribbon. You can cut it out and put it on the child with a safety pin. And they love that. I used to do that at the group classes. I had a group class once a month for the children, and everyone came to that. My advanced students and my young students all came to that same class once a month, and that was my performance class. That's when you teach them how to not have stage fright by this constant reinforcement of playing for one another. This is the composer's notebook, and there's nothing in it except manuscript paper. Doesn't cost very much. Eventually, I usually buy one of these for a student and give it to them for a recital present or a Christmas present. To those students who are really, really interested in composition, those are the ones that get this book. Okay, so that pretty much explains the companion books for Back to Basics. And this one is very, very thick. You can see I've done lots of writing over the last 35 years. Lots and lots of it. Okay, if you have any questions about the companion books, let me know. Alrighty, so in our next video, I want to go ahead with talking about recital protocol, talking about how to deal with parents. And also, I should mention right now, we are going into our last video. This will be video 32 that I do next. And it's time for you to think about whether or not you want to be a certified Back to Basics piano teacher. If you do, you will need to write an exam of 10 questions that will be sent to you on Facebook, on Messenger. I need to hear you play some pieces, and if you don't want to post those onto our group, you can send them to me on Messenger if you want to do that. That would be great. I just realized I can't see you. I'm talking to the wall here. Here I am. Here I am. Now you can only see part of me. Either I'm going to have to duck down or whatever. Anyway, let's try to move this back. Let's see. Move it back a little bit. And you can see some of me. Here I am. There you are. Okay, so decide. Do you want to have the certificate on your wall? It's a lovely certificate. And can you play one piece out of book 9 and out of book 10? Can you do that? And I will ask you to play another piece out of another book too. Maybe book 3 or 4 or 6. So I just want to know if you can play, because if you can't play, I can't give you a certificate, obviously. So let me know if you want to get a certificate or not. You don't have to. You don't have to do the exam. You don't have to apply for the certification. But you know, a lot of parents like to see some kind of a specialty certificate on your wall. And it would be nice. It would be a challenge for you. You need to have watched all of the videos. You need to know how to play all of the pieces in the book, of each book, right up to book 10. The exam is not hard. You need to communicate with me if you would like to do this on our Back to Basics piano teacher training program on Facebook. Okay, you didn't see much of me right for this video, but you will in the next video. So I'll see you there. Okay, bye for now.